Hello everybody, this is Amy Hunter and today I'm going to show you how to create a new project in Final Cut Pro. And this is all about how to make sure that you store your video and your audio and your picture files, whatever you need, make sure that they all get stored correctly so that when you're ready to transfer your data, you have everything you need. So the first step you always want to do is just simply to make a master folder to put everything into. I'm just going to make one here on the desktop, and this is my dog Oreo. So I'm just going to control click on a Mac and make a new folder. And I'll call this folder maybe Amy's Screencasts. Okay, so that's just going to be my master folder to put everything in. Now I'm ready to launch Final Cut Pro. In my case, it's over here. I have my dock on the left side, and I have Final Cut Pro open, so it would launch quickly for you. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to create a new library. So we're going to go to New Library and select that. The library is like the parent file for all of your Final Cut Pro assets. Just like you would go to a library with all your books in it, that's the idea, that we're going to have this library that we're going to put everything for anything that has to do with this particular project into our library. So we select that, and they want us to name the library, so I'll just call it Screencasts. And I want to make sure I put it in that desktop folder that we just made, okay, that I called Amy's Screencasts. So I'm just going to put it right there. It's got the Final Cut Pro bundle. This is what Final Cut Pro, how it appends this master file, and I'll show you what that looks like once we create it. So here it is. We say save, and you see right here it popped up under Screencasts, and it automatically made a new event, but I want to make my own event, and I want to name it the way I want to name it. So I'm just going to come up here. Step 2 then is to make a new event. We made a library. Now we're going to make an event to go inside the library. Okay, so you might think of this as maybe books that go in the library. So in this case, I'll call it Screencast number 1, and it's in the correct library, and I just simply say OK. Over here on this side, we see my master. This icon here is what the library icon is. This star is the event icon. Now this is the one that Final Cut Pro made automatically that I don't want to use. I'm just going to go ahead and close that one because I like to make sure that I name my own events and I put them where I want them. So there it is. Now the last thing we need to do is make a timeline. Down here is the timeline where you actually see your a visual image of your movie files. So we're going to come back to this library. I'm going to go to File, New, and Project. Remember, Project in Final Cut Pro speak means timeline. So I'm going to say Project, and we can also call this Screencast number 1. And you'll see you have a couple of options here about where you want your time code to start. We'll just start at 0 for now. And your video properties. You can do custom if you like, or you can say set based on first video clip. And then what that means is when I import a clip and simply drag it down to the timeline, it will automatically set the parameters of the timeline to match that video file. Alrighty, so I think in our case we will just leave that the way it is. We say OK. And you'll see now down here I have Screencast number 1. That is my timeline. And you'll see up here I also have one, a screencast. I actually have 2 because I made one just ahead of this one. So now I have a timeline, and I'm ready to import media into my Final Cut Pro project. Okay, once you've got this all created, you're ready to import your media, as I said. So I'm just going to go here under File. You're going to go to Import and Media. So we'll select that. And then I'm going to, over here, select where is my media. Now in this case there's a SD card in there, I could select that, but I'm going to find a file that I actually have on my hard drive. So I'm just going to select that, and I've already navigated through a bunch of folders to get to where we want to be. And here is the movie file I want to import. This is a preview screen where I can preview it. I can also select an in and an out if I don't want all of the video, but in this case I will select the whole thing. So I will simply go to Import Selected, and it's going to say where do you want to put it, and yes, I do want it in my screencast number 1. And in this case I want to say copy files into, this is our particular library. Okay, so you want to make sure it goes into the correct library, and we do want to copy the files. We don't want to leave them in place, otherwise Final Cut won't be able to find them next time if I happen to move that folder onto another hard drive. For all of these things, we're going to leave them unchecked for today, but in a future tutorial we'll learn about why we would choose some of these. So for now we'll just say import, and Final Cut Pro imports it. And you'll see here is the movie file. Okay, so these icons here, these are my project files. I can have different timelines. Here's my movie file, and it shows up here in the preview window. In order to get it onto the timeline, if I wanted to edit it, I can just simply drag and drop for now. There's quicker ways to do it, but right now we'll just put it on the timeline, and I'll go ahead and play it so you can watch it. Let's just kind of get past that part. Oh, if I want to trim it up, I could just trim off that beginning part, and we'll just start right there. And there you have it. That was a project one of my students did that I do with them called the ABC project, where they need to go out and shoot different compositions, just starting with the letters of their name. So anyway, that's how you load and create a new project in Final Cut Pro. I hope you enjoyed this, and next time we will dive into some more of the editing tools.